Hey, so we are now in my favorite time of year. To me, Halloween through Christmas is a continuum. It is the holiday season. And since I do this haunted house every year, I've done 7 so far, 7 successive annual haunted houses. As soon as I start planning for the haunted house, I get into the Christmas spirit. So in mid-September, that means I start singing and playing Christmas songs. Yep, that's what you need to know about me. Deal with it. But as I age, the whole idea of the Christmas season, of the holiday season, bringing peace and goodwill, becomes more of a, well, untrue. That's the best word for it, untrue. It seems more and more something that we're trying so desperately to manufacture. And now, I've told you before, I really don't care how you relate to God. That is between you and God. It is not for me to judge. It's important to me that you believe in an almighty being whose basis is love and our goodwill. Again, that relationship is between you and God. So in Christmas season, we have Christmas, we have solstice, we have Hanukkah, we have Kwanzaa, some years Ramadan, although not this year, it's already passed. We just celebrated the Hindu Festival of Lights. There's many reasons to feel joy and a sense of goodwill toward our neighbor. But as I age, as this world keeps spinning on and we keep tearing off pages of the calendar, I realize that whom we define as our neighbor gets narrower and narrower. And this is to our great detriment. These days, it appears our society is interested in swapping one power for another. You hear this all the time, and you hear the criticism all the time that give me a second here, that we really are not interested in showing love. We're only interested in showing love toward a certain segment of the population. And the criticism, of course, is that's not love. And that's a very valid criticism. Love is not something that you get to pick and choose. You can't decide that somebody has committed such a crime or such a sin that they are unworthy of your love. That's not how it works. That's not how it could possibly work. Myself, a believer in Jesus Christ, and believe me, I had a long period where I really doubted that. Hanging on the cross, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. He was talking about the people that crucified him, and yet he still had love. Now, whether or not you decide that's a nice little fable, well, it is a nice little fable. Love is absolutely paramount. And love, I believe, is the reason we were created. So the idea that somebody says something or does something, says a certain word or commits a certain behavior or writes a certain post on Twitter or Facebook, and because of that, we decide whether or not to love this person or not, that's ridiculous. That has nothing to do with the willingness to forge relationships and a willingness to love and to build a better society. These days, it's all about a power struggle. You got this one group over here saying this one group over here is wrong because of the words or because of behaviors or because of geographical location or because of generations of ancestors who may or may not have done bad things. So this group over here says this group over here is bad, and so this group over here is striving for ascendancy, and they're trying to get more and more power, and they want to use their power to keep this group over here down. But that's not what true power is about. The true power is the ability to love and forgive and forge friendships and build together. If your idea of building and forging is all based on this physical power that you have or political power that you have, and then all of a sudden you don't have it, bam, then where are you? The power that I'm speaking of is eternal. I'm not talking about letting people do crimes and sins and evil acts. I'm not talking about that at all. You stand up to them. But you stand up to them in such a way that you're willing to help the other person to grow and to become part of a community. You become part of his, he becomes part of yours, and you become part of a community that goes forward and builds together. If you're just going to put the other person down, there are some people who are going to cower and say, "Oh my God, forgive me, I have sinned." And they're talking to people, not God right now in this little scenario. "Forgive me for what I've done." But most people that you put down are going to get angry. And they may not say those things that you don't like anymore. But they're just going to be waiting for their time so that they can grab the power and they can have the ascendancy. Listen, every time we open our mouths, we take the risk of offending the person we're speaking to, or offending the person within hearing distance. And if we don't open our mouths, we take the risk of offending somebody who wants us to say something. So if we're going to risk offending people anyway, open your mouths and talk. Speak about truth. Speak about the ultimate pursuit of eternal truth. And until you get to that point, truths are subjective, and they are different for each person. So we can speak about our different truths with the idea that we are trying to get toward the ultimate truth. Even the most diseased, souled, even the person who has the greatest disease in his or her soul, you can talk to them and you can learn from them. There's something in their lives that can be a benefit to yours. Something that they've learned, something that they've done, some sort of wisdom or knowledge that they've accumulated. And you need to be open. We need to be open to that idea so that we actually can forge relationships and build together. This is the power I'm talking about. Power is not swapping one physical or political or social power, swapping one group that has that power for another, because that sort of dynamic doesn't end. But if we have the knowledge and the conviction to build our self-awareness, our self-power, the power that we retain within us, that we must commit ourselves to, and we must work toward every single day, we actually can create this utopia that we keep speaking of throughout the generations. Absolutely within our grasp. But the way that we're pursuing it now, with political nonsense in this country and European countries, Hong Kong, you know that there are Hong Kong protesters who have actually been attacking mainland Chinese simply because they're from the mainland? I mean, going after them with words and fists and bottles? Read the papers. Read the news. This is nonsense. That is not what power is about. This is not what fulfillment is about. We can achieve great things together, but we have to do it, number one, a belief in ourselves, because change emanates from within. And number two, the belief in the other person. That's all I'm going to give you for this week. I will talk to you next week about it. For now, peace. 4 fingers. Talk to you later. Bye.